Welcome back to my channel. This is Siha, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of Papers, Please, a unique indie game that challenges players with the bureaucratic duties of a border control officer. For those who haven't experienced it yet, Papers, Please places you in the shoes of an immigration officer in the fictional communist state of Arstotzka. Your job is to inspect documents and decide who can enter or exit the country, all while balancing moral dilemma, personal needs, and all government directives. Let's begin by highlighting the top 3 aspects I adore about this game. Number 3. Engaging moral choices. The game presents players with a series of moral choices that revolve around the theme of loyalty, survival, compassion, and ethical dilemmas. The game's core mechanic involves inspecting documents and deciding who to allow into the fictional country of Arstotzka, while balancing various factors such as national security, personal need, and empathy for individuals seeking entry. Some of the moral choices in the game include following the rules or following your compassion. Player must decide whether to strictly adhere to the government rules and regulation or show compassion toward individuals who may have valid reason for entering Arstotzka despite not having all the correct paperwork. Loyalty or personal ethics. As the game progresses, players may be faced with decisions that test their loyalty to the state versus their own moral principles. This could involve accepting bribes, assisting rebel faction, or uncovering government corruption. Players must weigh the potential risk posed by allowing certain individuals into the country against the moral imperative to help those in need. Another choice is families versus duties. The player's family member may become involved in the storyline, presenting dilemmas where personal relationships clash with professional responsibilities. Decisions made in this situation can have significant consequences for both the player character and their loved ones. Overall, Papers, Please present a complex portrayal of moral decision-making in a bureaucratic dystopia, challenging players to navigate the grey areas. Number 2. Atmospheric world-building. Papers, Please excel in atmospheric world-building, immersing players in the oppressive and bleak setting of the fictional totalitarian state of Arstotzka. Several elements contribute to this atmospheric world building, such as the visual design. The game pixel art style, inspired by retro computer graphics, effectively convey the austere and authoritarian aesthetic of a bureaucratic regime. The drab colors and the repetitive environments emphasize the monotony and severity of life in that country. The sound design. The game's soundtrack, composed of somber melodies and mechanical sounds, complement the visual design to evoke a sense of foreboding and unease. The sound effect of stamping documents and scanning paper further immerse the players in the daily routine of a border checkpoint inspector. Number 1. Replayability and multiple endings. This game offers significant replayability and multiple endings, enhancing the game depth and encouraging players to explore different paths and outcomes. And that's how they achieve this. The game features a branching narrative structure where the player's decisions impact the story trajectory and lead to different outcomes. Choices made during borders inspections, interactions with characters, and responses to scripted events can result in divergent paths, altering the course of the game. Each decision made by players carries the consequences that can affect not only the immediate gameplay, but also future events and endings. For an example, accepting or denying entry to a certain individuals may have ripple effects on the player's character reputation, income, or family members' well-being. The game offers multiple possible endings based on the player's actions and performance throughout the game. These endings range from achieving various levels of success or failure in the Spectre's duties to influencing the fate of Arstotzka and its citizens. Some endings are more optimistic or tragic than others, reflecting the moral complexity and narrative richness of the game. Who would have imagined that a game of such modest scale could wield such profound influence? This led me to ponder, what if the creator dared to push the boundaries even further? Let's delve deeper into the analysis of 3 aspects that I would have liked to see from a different perspective, if only out of curiosity. Number 3. Gameplay mechanics. One aspect often discussed in Papers, Please critiques is the perceived lack of variety in gameplay mechanics. While other games' central mechanic of inspecting documents at a border checkpoint is compelling and thematically rich, some players and reviewers have noted that the gameplay can become repetitive over time. However, it was Lucas Pope's decision to mimic the repetitive work of the person in charge of checking the documents. This intentional design choice aimed to immerse players in the monotony and drudgery of bureaucratic life, aligning with the game themes of authoritarianism and dehumanization. That said, exploring ways to introduce additional mechanics without compromising the game's core experience could enhance engagement for certain players. For instance, incorporating mini-games during specific situations could inject variety and tension into the gameplay. For example, implementing puzzles reminiscent of classic horror tropes during moments of heightened suspense could add an extra layer of challenge and intrigue. Additionally, introducing minigames when navigating ethical dilemmas, such as deciding whether to accept bribe, could heighten the stakes and provide players with more dynamic decision-making opportunities. By carefully integrating these supplementary mechanics, Papers, Please could offer players moments of respite from the routine document inspection, while still maintaining the thematic coherence and immersive storytelling that define the game. Ultimately, the key would be to strike a balance between introducing new elements to alleviate potential monotony without diluting the game's central themes and intentions. Number 2. Character development. There is minimal emphasis on developing the background or the personal narrative of individual characters. The characters' encounters in the game are often presented as generic individuals seeking entry into the country. While some travelers may briefly share snippets of their stories or reasons for wanting to cross the borders, those interactions are typically fleeting and serve primarily to provide context for the player's decision-making rather than to flesh out the character themselves. There is little opportunity for meaningful dialogue or engagement with the characters beyond the immediate transactional nature of the border inspection process. I want to remember that the lack of character development is a deliberate design choice by the creator to reinforce the game thematic focus on impersonal bureaucracy and the dehumanizing effect of authoritarian regimes. By keeping characters relatively anonymous and interchangeable, the game underscored the sense of detachment and alienation experienced by both the player character and the inhabitant of Arstotzka. What if there were a larger influx of people attempting to traverse the board, extending their in-game days, and some of them had to pass through the gate at varying times? This will enable you to engage in dialogue with them and uncover more about their lives. Why are they endeavoring to enter this country, which is far from welcoming? What adversities have they faced? What range of skills do they possess? As the player, can you leverage these skills to improve the living condition of your own family? This could provide players with an additional incentive to become invested in the lives of these individuals, seeking an advantage that aids in their family survival. Number 1. World exploration. Papers, Please does not feature traditional world exploration in the way many other games do. Instead, it immerses players in the microcosm of border checkpoint and its immediate surrounding within the fictional country of Arstotzka. Although players may not have the freedom to physically explore the game world, they can uncover new elements of the narrative by examining documents, interacting with characters, and observing environmental details. The game's current format functions impeccably, yet I envision some enhancement that could diversify the experience. For instance, what if, on occasion, you were tasked with monitoring a different border, granting you the chance to encounter varied locals and a distinct array of individuals? Furthermore, imagine if you had the option to earn promotions, introducing even more moral dilemmas. You'd be torn between remain loyal to the government for a potentially more comfortable life or empathizing with the individuals crossing the border, which could make it increasingly challenging to provide for your family. In conclusions, Papers, Please is a thought-provoking game that excels in its moral complexity and atmospheric storytelling. While it's not without its flaws, the experience it offers is truly unique and memorable. What are your thoughts about this game? Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on the latest content. Until next time, take care and happy gaming!